Every few decades, a new and amazing feminist film comes to light. One that exudes empowerment and female friendships. One that promotes personal sexuality and physically pushing away those who try to dominate you. That's right, I'm talking about Clueless. Oh, you don't like Clueless? Okay, well first of all, what the fuck is wrong with you? And second of all, how about She's the Man? Legally Blonde? John Tucker Must Die? No, seriously. Early 2000s chick flicks are full of feminist gold that show the development of powerful and strong women. And just like in these movies, a new type of vocal and abrasive feminism comes to light in the form of a museum tour. Or, more precisely, the Badass Bitches Museum Tour. This tour focuses on telling the hidden and exciting stories of women in history in museums across the United States. The Badass Bitches are an amazing example of what feminism can resemble, being loud and proud about the accomplishments of women without misandry. Yet this type of energetic appreciation is often viewed negatively in our society, which brings us to today's research question. How does the Badass Bitches Museum Tour fight traditional ideals of ladylike behavior by using vocal and abrasive feminism? Or in other words, why the fuck can't I say fuck while still being considered ladylike? In order to answer this question, we'll look to the article Examining Portrayals of Female Protagonists by Female Screenwriters Using Feminist Critical Discourse Analysis, published in the 2017 edition of the Young Researcher Journal and written by Brooke Shapiro. The model found within this article is perfect because it explains the steps that women in pop culture follow in order to become inspiring protagonists. So today, we will analyze the model, apply it to our artifact, and look to future implications. That's right, this badass bitch is about to make you watch CA. I'm so sorry. Brooke Shapiro's model explains the ways in which female characters traditionally become victorious through three main tenets. These are submission, realization of oppression, and revolt. First, submission. In the beginning of each movie that is analyzed, the female protagonists are often left isolated in unfamiliar environments. They are meant to feel a sense of despair and loneliness until eventually they submit to the circumstances and wait to be rescued by a man. I don't know about you, but the only man that I would want rescuing me is RuPaul. The rescuer then whisks her away into happily ever after, which leads us to our second tenet, the realization of oppression. The rescuer often sees her as his property, since he is responsible for saving her. The female character will then realize that the masculinity pressuring her is toxic. They begin to reject traditional female roles and being seen as objects by embracing their masculine qualities. Now, I personally think this is where she should just quit men altogether and try something else. But instead we have our third tenet, revolt. This is where the female character takes on her male characteristics, combines them with her feminine qualities, and uses them to reject her oppressor. A great example of this concept is found in the film She's the Man, where Viola literally takes on masculine characteristics in order to meet her goals. Now that we understand the model, we can apply it to our artifact, the Badass Bitches Museum Tour. First, we'll look at the element of submission. For many years, women in history have been forced into submission and silence simply because we ignore their stories. The Badass Bitches Tour has faced a similar type of isolation, because even though it's been running for years, it does not receive traditional advertising from the museums themselves. This aspect is attempting to force them into a submission and silence, which means that it would fulfill the first tenet. Second, the realization of oppression. Most museum tours focus on what the men in history have done. They tell the stories of male artists and male inventors and founding fathers, and almost leave the contributions of women in history completely out of the narrative. But the Badass Bitches Tour are putting themselves back in the narrative, just like Eliza Hamilton, the baddest bitch of them all. The initial concept of the tour is focused on realizing and fighting the oppression of women in history, which means it fulfills the second tenet. Third, the element of revolt. The Badass Bitches quite obviously work to revolt against traditional tours and views of art. This is done by merging the vulgarity of masculine culture with the feminine beauty of art, in order to create an entirely new side to museum tours that has not been seen before. Because this tour incorporates masculinity and femininity in order to revolt against tradition, it fulfills the third tenet. Having met all three tenets, we can now return to today's research question. How does the Badass Bitches Museum Tour fight the traditional ideals of ladylike behavior by using vocal and abrasive feminism? Or, in less boring terms, why the fuck can't I say fuck and still be considered ladylike? Because the tour matches the model, it answers the question simply. Women should not be forced into traditional ladylike behavior. Sometimes we curse and we yell. Crazy, I know. But this tour shows that vulgarity can be used as an avenue to promote feminism while still containing qualities of femininity. This leads us to two critical implications: the art of resistance and empathetic masculinity. First, the art of resistance. This tour begins a trend of co-opting feminist values and masculine characteristics in order to fight oppression. According to the Huffington Post on February 2nd, 2015, art is traditionally seen as a more feminine venue. Yet when combined with vulgarity, this feminine medium can be used and reinvented in order to rebel against patriarchal views. Second, empathetic masculinity. By merging art and vulgarity, a new form of masculinity is born, one that is built for empowering and expressing yourself rather than tearing others down. Art is supposed to be impersonal and empathetic. When this is merged with the strong but emotionalist persona of masculinity, it creates an example of how masculinity can exist without being toxic. This allows for sensitivity and helps to lower the expectations for femininity and masculinity, regardless of gender. Now, I know that this is a CA, so you're not supposed to have solutions, but it's also an ABS, so I'm gonna do what I want. There's one simple solution here. Go to the damn tour. If you want to see how art can be empathetic and masculine, go to the tour. If you long to actually enjoy your history lessons with cursing and speaking about women in history, go to the tour. There's literally one 2 hours from San Diego, and for just $49 a person, you are 110% guaranteed to have a great fucking time, according to their website. Here is a handout with more information about how to get signed up for the Badass Bitches Tour. Because everyone should be a feminist. Everyone. Today, we answered the research question, how does the Badass Bitches Museum Tour fight traditional ideals of ladylike behavior by using vocal and abrasive feminism? By first analyzing Brooke Shapiro's model, applying it to our artifact, and finally looking to possible implications. In Clueless, Cher learns to stand up and protect her own femininity by being vocal about her beliefs. And if you don't believe that this actually works, then I guess we can all just have an early 2000s movie night.